Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Today's video is all about chocolate ganache. It's a 2-ingredient, no butter chocolate frosting that you can use to fill a cake, to frost a cake, to even a ganache a cake. You can also use it to pipe out beautiful rosettes and flowers and swirls and borders and whatnot on top of your cakes as well as on your cupcakes. You can even use it to make drips on top of the cake. Yes, the exact same recipe. And you can also use it to make structured cakes. So let's get to the recipe. I'm going to be using grams and I'm going to be using 1:2 ganache. That means for every 1 gram of cream I'm going to be using 2 grams of chocolate, and here I'm using about 250 grams of heavy whipping cream. I'm going to microwave it till it's steamy. It's not bubbling, it's not too hot, but it's super steamy, and you want to do it in 10 to 15 second bursts. And once it's at the temperature you need it, once it's steaming, you put in your chocolate. Again, this is in grams, and it was almost 2.5 cups, not full to the brim. So 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, and then pretty much 2.5 cups roughly of chocolate. So it's 250 grams and 500 grams. That is your 1:2 ganache. Now all you have to do is let it sit on the counter for about 10 to 15 minutes depending on how hot it is in your kitchen, and let the chocolate chips or chocolate melt with the steam and with the heat of the hot whipping cream. If it's still not melting, pop it back in the microwave for 5 more seconds, but not more, because then you can actually burn your chocolate. And if you find there are some solid pieces of chocolate left, again give it 5 more seconds, but no longer. This is very important. Do not over microwave it because you can actually burn it. And this is your consistency where you can drip your cupcakes, you can drip your cakes, or you can even dip your cupcakes, add drizzles to all your cakes and cupcakes. Whatever you want to do when it comes to decorating, you can do a lot with this runny consistency. And then for the thicker, more fluffy sort of a ganache that you can use for 3D structures as well as for fluffy frosting, we're going to put this in the fridge for at least 2 to 3 hours until it's somewhat like this. Take it out of the fridge, give it a quick mix with a spoon or a whisk, and you're going to see that it's going to start setting immediately, just like you see it here. Now this is perfect if you're making structured cakes and you want it to set really quickly, especially for 3D cakes and cakes that have a lot of details that you need to carve out and mold. This is perfect. If you find it getting hard too quickly, just microwave it for 5 seconds, just like I did before I started to whip this frosting, because I want to add it in the layers of my cake and I want to ganache my cake with it. With somewhat of a fluffy, lighter ganache, I'm going to whip it, but you don't want to overdo it. This is another thing I want you guys to know, and I want all of you to keep in mind when making a ganache, is not to over whip it, because there is heavy cream in it, and anything that is more fat based, it tends to split really easily. So the clip that you just saw me whipping is the entire time I used to whip this 3-cup ganache, which is perfect to fill and frost a 6-inch cake which has about 3 to 4 layers. And you can see how super smooth it is and how easily I am able to just swirl it around and just spread it around the cake without pulling on the cake itself and breaking it, because when the ganache is really hard you can actually break your cake while you're frosting it. And here you have a perfectly ganached cake. This is the same cake that I shared with you previously. It's my chocolate fudge cake. And now, just to show you guys how beautifully I can pipe out swirls and ribbons and shell borders, whatever your decorating and caking needs may be, you can pretty much do anything with this recipe and this ganache. So that was all for today's video and recipe. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please do share it with your friends and family, and like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and consider subscribing to my channel. Until next time, the Homemaker Baker over and out.